football.
Manchester United were the team of 1993. They swept past the 100-point mark and scored 100 goals, and they're away again. What can Liverpool, who dominated English football over the past decade, do to stop the team threatening to run away with this decade? Is the title going Manchester United's way again? They're 12 points clear at the top right now. They've been beaten at Anfield only 3 times in their last 13 visits. They've got the best away record in the Premiership. They are the team to beat right now. What a night at Anfield. We are with the champions on our Ford Monday Night Football Extra. From the FA Carling Premiership, it's Liverpool against Manchester United. The biggest club game in English football, and it's on, and that's worth saying right away after all the drama of last night. And we kick off at 7:45, which is 15 minutes earlier than usual. It should be a stormer. There's certainly no love lost between the sides, which is why we're keeping our guests an extra inch or two apart tonight. It's Phil Thompson and George Best. Welcome both. George, what is the history to the rivalry between these two, in your opinion?
Well, it's Phil, I tell you, it's a bit more than a rivalry. It's almost a war. I mean, amongst the fans, not so much the players. You know, we were talking before we went on air. The fans. I mean, it's just. I was thrown right in the deep end when I signed for United in '63. We just won the FA Cup. '64, Liverpool won the league. '65, we won it. Liverpool won it in '66. We won it in '67, and then of course the European Cup. So the rivalry from when I first got in the side has been there, and it's just carried on year after year.
Did you sense it as a player, Phil, through the glorious decade or so that Liverpool had? Decade and more, in truth.
It was always one of the biggest games of the season. Being a Liverpool lad, of course, playing Everton was so important. I think the next game too was always against Manchester United. We had some wonderful games, and the rivalry has always been intense. But, as I say, with the fans, I think it's got that little bit more in the last sort of 4 or 5 years.
Is this bigger in Liverpool than the Derby match, and bigger than the Manchester Derby, George?
I don't know, it's pretty close to it. And also the important thing about games between Liverpool and Manchester United, it really doesn't matter where they are in the league, respectively, because it just, you know, it all goes out the window most of the time, the same as Derby matches.
I think so. I think people look at it and you get the fixtures at the start of the season, and obviously you look for your Derby game against Everton. But I think sometimes, especially in the last couple of years, the Manchester United game, people are looking and fingering through, looking for that, you know, home and away fixture straight away.
There's such an expectation about the place, isn't there, already?
I think so. Everybody's been looking forward to it. I know it. You feel the buzz. We've had Christmas, we've had the New Year, and what a cracker, basically, we could say to start the New Year off.
Well, there were no games at either Blackburn or Leeds yesterday, no goals at Arsenal or West Ham. There were a couple at Main Road which didn't count. These did.
That's a good ball to find Wegley. This is a real chance here for Coventry. Is this the breakthrough? Yes, it is. Roy Wegley. Well, if Swindon are going to do something, it had better be quick. How about now with Andy Much? Right on time. Swindon, late salvation. And Andy Much looks to have rescued an improbable point for the bottom side in the Premiership.
And that was the game we got on live last night on the Monday Night Football. Swindon getting a point at Coventry, an important point for them as well, although they are still bottom. Southampton and Oldham making up the bottom 3 places. Then Manchester City, Sheffield United and Chelsea in the bottom 6. The top half, which is where we're concentrating tonight, looks like this. Liverpool unbeaten in 6 and looking at a place in the top 6 if they win tonight. Manchester United top. If they lose, will have played a couple of games more than Blackburn Rovers. They've still got to go to Ewood Park. That really would close the gap if Rovers could beat them then and win the games in hand. Is it all over, Phil?
Well, no, as you can see there, I think significant in that fact, if Liverpool can do the business tonight, I think Blackburn could get even closer. And I think that's when a few sort of wobbles might set in for Manchester United. Don't forget, just of late, they've drawn a lot of games.
They've drawn 4 out of 7.
Yeah, which is good. You know, you can say they're hanging in there. We've seen the game against Blackburn, which shows, you know, the tenacity and everything. They want to hang in there. But I believe it can be done.
As Kenny Dalglish said at the weekend, George, they don't hand out championship trophies at this stage of the season, do they?
Yeah, they've got to be a little bit wary, haven't they? I mean, I think everyone still believes that they can win it and will win it. But looking at it there, a few of the teams behind them are playing really well. Newcastle, Blackburn, Arsenal, a little bit of a hiccup. They would have expected 3 points against QPR, but they're close. You know, they haven't caught them. But usually during the season, teams hit a really bad spell. You hardly ever go through the full season without hitting a bad spell. United really haven't hit a bad spell. They've got some home points, and if they do, who knows? But it still means that teams behind them have got to pick up maximum points, and United still have to start losing.
We are at Anfield tonight with the champions. It's Liverpool against Manchester United. Some important team news in both camps, and Nick Collins has got the details for us. Nick, good evening.
Richard, hello. Yes, I've got the team sheets here, and the first thing to say is that Liverpool are making 2 changes from the side that won at Ipswich on Saturday. Back into the side comes Julian Dix for his first game since Boxing Day. He replaces Steve Harkness at fullback, and John Barnes starts the game. Remember, Barnes came on as a substitute in that Ipswich game, helped lay on the winner for Ian Rush. Well, he starts tonight, so the big names are back for the big game. Stig Bjornaby, who also came on as a sub in that game with Ipswich, played pretty well in place of Dominic Matteo. He starts from the bench again. Steve Nicol is also a substitute tonight. Moving on to the United team, they make 1 change from the side that drew with Leeds on Saturday, but what a significant one it is. Paul Ince is fit again, comes back into the side in midfield. He replaces Brian Robson, so Robson switches back to the bench. But Lee Sharp and Mark Hughes are still not fit, so they're unable to take their place in the side, which means Brian McClare and Andre Kanchelskis will play tonight. So fairly significant team news. A lot of big names will be playing out there tonight. A lot of talk of the rivalry between these 2 clubs, but I tell you what, beforehand, both sets of players seem to be getting on pretty well with each other, swapping a few old jokes and stories. They seem to be really looking forward to this evening's clash. Richard.
Thank you, Nick. That's good to hear. We're very much looking forward to it as well. So 2 significant changes for Liverpool in Julian Dix and John Barnes. It's Grobbelaar, Jones, Wright, Ruddock, Dix, McManaman, Clough, Redknapp, Barnes, Rush and Fowler to start. And Manchester United, no Sharp or Hughes, but McClare and Kanchelskis play. Robson's on the bench. Schmeichel, Parker, Bruce, Pallister, Irwin, Kanchelskis, Ince, Keane, Giggs, Cantona and McClare. It's an extraordinary thing, Phil, but Ian Rush is maybe not assured of his place at Liverpool these days, is he?
Yeah, I think that what might have spurred him on Saturday. He probably relished getting on the score sheet at the end of the day. Rush's been doing as well as anybody. I would say probably the supply's not been as good for him. You know, little Robbie's probably got a little bit more trickery about him than Ian. But in and around that box, I think he's as sharp as ever. And I think if he gets a good amount of balls coming in there, I still think he can do the business.
More than 300 goals in total, 200 plus in the league for Ian Rush.
See, it's little stinking balls like that you just see there, which Rush is alive to. And when that supply stops coming, you start having little thoughts about yourself and where you should go and what you should do. You've got to, Terry McDermott once said, I'll keep running and running for every chance. As long as I know you're going to try it, And I think that's the way probably Ian is now. He's got to that stage where he thinks, should he go in there, the ball's not going to come, which he shouldn't do. And obviously I think they almost go through that sort of spell. I wouldn't know, like, not being a striker, but George will probably tell you a bit more.
No Sharp or Hughes for Manchester United, as we said, but Kanchelskis plays, Brian McClare plays, and Brian Robson is on the bench. It's Flag Day, incidentally, on the Kop, and Phil Thompson knows more about that than me. What is Flag Day then, Phil?
Well, it's the supporters, as we all know at Liverpool now, the Kop roof comes off very, very soon. And the ways they're trying to celebrate things is they're calling it Flag Day. They had one towards the end of the season, the last game, incidentally, at Anfield last season. We won 6-2 against Tottenham. And it was great celebrations. And the same thing today. Everybody gets to know, there's things being in like fanzines and so on and so forth. There's a new magazine called The Extra on Merseyside, which is very, very good. And everybody's come along with flags tonight.
To mark the start of the end of the Kop, one of the most famous footballing venues in the country, in the world, arguably. We're at Anfield tonight to see Liverpool play Manchester United. Next, how they've been getting on over the festive period. A Monday night football extra from Anfield tonight. They don't come much bigger than Liverpool against Manchester United. The head-to-head, 120 games in the league down the years. Liverpool have won 42, United 41. There have been 37 draws. At Anfield, Liverpool have only won 3 out of 13 here recently. Played 60. Liverpool 31 wins, United 14, and there have been 15 draws. Our guests tonight, Phil Thompson and George Best, and let's check out now the holiday form that these two have been in, starting in fact with United on December the 19th. This was a significant match, George, wasn't it? They got Villa, Blackburn, Leeds across the holiday period, and we thought if they lost 1 or 2, it could all change.
Yes, thanks, Richard. I think all the teams that have been chasing them were hoping that they would maybe at least lose 1. So there are 2 ways of looking at it. Do you say that this was a great result for them? Because this was the start of the difficult period that everyone's talking about. So they're off to a terrific start. And there are 2 ways of looking at it. Whether they drop points by only drawing the next couple at home, or you can also say they're still undefeated in that period. So there are those 2 ways. This was an amazing game. It looked like it was 1-0 a couple of minutes to go.
Well, it was 1-0 with 88 minutes played, wasn't it? And then United ran riot. Villa got themselves a consolation, but never really threatened on the day, did they? This was live, of course, on Sky Sports, this one.
Yeah, it's amazing as well, because poor old Villa are probably playing, well, they're playing better stuff away from home than they are at home, but at the end of the day, a terrific start through that hard period for Manchester United. And this, it was all over this time. This was about at the death, wasn't it?
These two finished, of course, 1 and 2 in the old Premier League last year, and we expected Villa to run them a good deal closer than they have so far this season, but 3-1 was comprehensive enough. That was live, as I said, here on the home of football, Sky Sports. And so too was the match against Blackburn, who surprised United and went ahead very early with a tidy goal from Kevin Gallagher.
Well, Gallagher did this as well, didn't he? Last season, scored a terrific goal. This is amazing. He's nutmegged one, stuck it past the other, and a terrific finish. A great start. And Blackburn looked pretty good at this stage. We watched the game, didn't we? And they looked like they possibly were going to win it. United have got desperate. They've stuck Schmeichel up to try and create a bit of havoc, and it seemed to have worked. And ended up, I suppose, maybe stole a point at the end of the game.
1-1. Then it was off to Boundary Park, where they'd been beaten, of course, last season, but no mistakes this time round, although for some time Oldham were in the match. And then United put their foot on the gas and romped away, and that's always the danger with them, isn't it?
It is. I mean, poor old Oldham. You're always guaranteed a terrific match at Oldham. I don't think they know what the word defending means. There's always terrific goals. But this is, as you say, they'd lost last season there. So to go anywhere and score 5 goals in the Premier is terrific. So it's a nice build-up. They would have been hoping after this. Great run here.
This brought up the 100 goals. It took them past the 100 points mark for 1993.
Big thing about them is, isn't it? You look at them, they look as though they can score from every position. They've got players out there, and the movements off the ball is frightening. They always feel as though they've got it in them to step up a gear. You know, if things are, you know, they are having problems.
Well, that's what George was saying, really, wasn't it? You can look at it 2 ways. Have they dropped points, or have they really dug in when it matters, with a belief that they're not going to get beaten? George
and myself, we've both played in championship winning sides, and you know you're not going to play well all the time. And it's scraping results. About the one against Blackburn, you know, it's scraping results. It's digging in there, hanging in there. Sometimes it doesn't go, whether it be home or away, you've got to dig in. And that's what they do. And they know they've got enough skill. And as they are here, you know, you've got Giggsy scoring. Not the best defender in the world, like I said. Having said that, they do score goals from all different positions.
You think you've catered for one danger, and there's half a dozen more, isn't there?
Well, yeah, you're looking at Bruce.
Literally that many.
Brucey's getting, what, 10 a season? Brucey. You know, I know a lot of people could say penalties, but half his goals are just from set pieces.
So that was 5-2 at Boundary Park, and then Leeds United were at Old Trafford. And they forced a goalless draw. In fact, very nearly won it. Came closest when Chris Fairclough hit the bar with that header.
I think as well, United, this game, you know, I think a lot of teams now, we find this as well when we were playing in our championship years, that a lot of teams are coming and happy to settle for a point. Leeds marked man-to-man in certain areas there and almost nicked it. So the chasing pack again will have been a bit disappointed that United got to 1 point.
Liverpool then, this is what they've been doing over the holiday period. Started at Bramall Lane against Sheffield United and in truth had a very difficult 45 minutes in this one. Bruce Grobbelaar needed to be at his best. Liverpool playing here in yellow. Sheffield United with the ball in the net in the first half. Bobby Davison scored but was offside for him.
Yeah, Bruce has had a great season. Bruce has really played well. Okay, people say Bruce makes mistakes, but like this season's been exceptional for him. Just there, that's a magnificent save. That really should be a goal all over it, but Bruce never gives it up, and he's made a magnificent save. On the day, he kept them in the game, really.
Goalless at Bramall Lane, and then Wimbledon came to Anfield.
The bogey team.
You never really know what you're going to get with Wimbledon.
No, again, Liverpool,
by way of a result, you know you're going to get a difficult game, don't you?
Yeah, Liverpool have played well on the night, played really well, and should have won it handsomely, but you can never write Wimbledon off. Just a little bit of uncertainty between Bruce and Neil Ruddock. And there's fashioning.
They've had a tendency to give goals away, haven't they?
It's the inconsistency about everything, what they've been doing.
Ipswich Town next, a good win.
5 weeks or so.
Ipswich were unbeaten in 8 coming into this match. Ian Rush made sure of the points for Liverpool with a winner late on.
Again, as we're seeing there, we're seeing Jekyll and Hyde stuff, aren't we, on the defence. He's just sleeping there. Everybody should really be on the toes. But here again, Ian Rush been under pressure just a bit of late. I'd have him in the team all the time.
Does form matter tonight?
No. Again, it's like derby games. You know, the form goes out of the window. And it does. You're looking at Manchester United top of the league, Liverpool in 8th place. Out of the window. Liverpool could be down there at the bottom, or it could be Manchester United.
You fancy Liverpool?
I fancy Liverpool 2-1.
That's your head or your heart speaking?
Both.
George, what do you think?
Well, looking at both teams' recent results and the amount of draws, you would have to go for a draw. And I honestly believe it. I think it'll be very close. I think it'll be a draw tonight.
Well, Stuart Watts has been out and about outside the ground asking the question, what makes this game so special?
That's the season. Beat these lot, that's the season there.
If you lose, it's just like end of the world, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, just don't, you can only win, really.
They've won the league once, that's enough for them. We've gone 2 years now. Start saying again.
Yeah, got to beat them tonight. Got to have it tonight because we hate them, you see. Got to have them tonight.
Liverpool, I think, will win today because, I mean, they'll play their hearts out today in defence, Rob Jones and maybe Julian Dix if he's back and players like that. And, I mean, they'll just keep Cantona out and hopefully we won't get a look in.
I think there's an intense rivalry between supporters always, between Manchester United, more in fact than there is between Liverpool and Everton.
At the moment, say Man United's playing better than Liverpool, but tonight I think it could be a change around, and with us taking 3 points off them, the gap can be closed between Blackburn, which gives them a better chance, because we don't want United to win the league.
I've lived in Liverpool all my life, but I don't know, I just got drawn to United for some strange reason about 4 years ago, and I've supported them ever since. Like, I do get skittered loads for it, like walking down the street and everything, but I don't mind, because we're going to win today, so it's going to be worth it.
Over the last couple of years, Man United won the cup, won the Cup Winners' Cup, won the league, and they won the league again this year, so it means everything to beat Liverpool, especially here.
It's always a game that each side wants to win. Obviously, important for us to win tonight, make the title a bit more certain, and go from there, really. They'll be coming to try and beat us, obviously, because they want to go above as well. So, you know, it's a good game whichever way it goes. It'll probably turn out a good game anyway.
Yes, it's Liverpool against Manchester United on a Monday Night Football Extra live from Anfield tonight. We saw 109 live football matches here on Sky Sports in 1993. 94 promises to be bigger and better. We'll be continuing our live coverage of all the top Premiership action as the race for the title hots up. Manchester United are in pole position, but there are plenty of pretenders to the crown. Arsenal are out to retain the FA Cup. We'll be at Millwall as they start the defence of the game's most prestigious trophy. See the big names of the future as the schoolboys of England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales square up for the Victory Shield. With the European Super Cup live and top action from Germany. We'll be watching England's new regime build a side to win the '96 European Championships. There's a lot to look forward to in '94, and it's all here on Sky Sports. Football from all corners of the world. Lancashire tonight, Anfield to be precise. It's Liverpool against Manchester United. The Kop is full. Every seat in the house is sold. If you haven't got one, stay right where you are. You've got the next best seat in the house with us here on Sky Sports. Liverpool desperately want to win this. Manchester United have to avoid getting beaten. It's a fabulous atmosphere in the place. Next, Andy and Robbie Fowler. Monday Night Football Extra from Anfield, and what a night this could be. Liverpool against Manchester United, two of the biggest names in world football. The odds tonight, the bookies fancy Manchester United. That's a sign of the times. United favourites at Anfield. First to score, 6-1 on Cantona, 7-1 on Fowler, 8-1 Rush, 9-1 Ryan Giggs, 10-1 Brian Leclerc. Those odds there confirming that Liverpool have a new hitman, baby-faced Fowler, emerging out of the shadow of the master.
Calderwood committed himself, he's let Fowler in here, and it's a fatal mistake. Robbie Fowler does not spurn gifts like those.
So many times I feel like I must be your best friend. You're looking fine, so fine, oh my, dressed up like a lovely day. Slow down, child, let me untie your lace. Baby face,
And there he is, Manchester United boast Ryan Giggs, Liverpool Robbie Fowler, who's made himself at a very tender age a cult figure in these parts. Watched and learned from Ian Rush, and some say as good as now. Right, let's have a word from our match commentators tonight, sitting outside amongst a fabulous atmosphere. Andy Gray and Martin Tyler. Good evening.
Good evening, Richard. Good evening, everyone. Well, last night I was a viewer sitting at home watching my television, and before we go on behalf of all the viewers, I'd like to say thank you to the technicians and the talent that produced something out of nothing at Coventry in extreme circumstances. But we are back to normal tonight, if you could call this normal, Andy.
I don't think this is normal. That's what makes it so special and why everyone is looking forward in such anticipation. If you need ingredients, and you do, to make the perfect game, I think we have them here. Now all we want is for the players to produce that.
Well, let's get on with the team news, starting, of course, with Liverpool. And Graham Souness has had access to John Barnes for less than half the matches in his 2.5 years in charge at Anfield. But Barnes is back in the frame tonight after his short but significant stint as substitute at Ipswich. The left-back position has been a real problem this season, but Julian Dix is ready again after knee trouble and takes over from Steve Harkness, who played well at Ipswich, and Graham Souness acknowledges he's unlucky to be left out. Mark Wright has hardly had the ideal preparation for such a big game. He's been spending a lot of time at a Nottingham hospital where his daughter is receiving treatment. He's had very little sleep, but this is a game he didn't want to miss.
And quite rightly too, because if there's one area where they have to play better than recent weeks, it's here at the back. The back four particularly will have to be on song tonight to stop this Manchester United. This is a definite gamble, in my opinion, John Barnes playing tonight. But he has the option to play on that right side, or whether they give him a free roll and just tuck him in beside the front two. We've yet to see. Nigel Clough, one who I don't really think has taken off this season for Liverpool. Can he get enough of the ball? Can he get enough possession to provide Rush and Fowler the type of service that Phil Thompson says they need?
So that's Liverpool. The major midfield influence of Paul Ince is available to Alec Ferguson again. Ince, one of 3 United players who pulled out of last Saturday's confrontation with Leeds at the last minute. But the other two, Lee Sharp and Mark Hughes, are still missing. Eric Cantona plays his 50th game for Manchester United tonight as they look for their 50th goal in the Premiership.
Well, I think if there's one player that Alex Ferguson didn't want to lose tonight, it was Mark Hughes. With the two up front, I don't think he really has a target man there. We all know about Eric Cantona. He'll drop into the midfield area. He'll even drop wide on either side, totally out the game, just to get some space to pick it up. Brian McClair, on the other hand, will have to do the Hughes role, I feel. He'll have to be the one that faces everything up. If Irwin's looking for an outlet, he'll have to be looking for McClair. If Bruce is looking for an outlet, McClair, I think, is the one who's going to have to take the Hughes role. Alex Ferguson has the option, of course, of switching these two. He can say to Ryan Giggs, you go up front and test people over the top with your pace if you want to. And Brian McClair is able to tuck back into the midfield. Important area here, Keane. With Redknapp and Clough in the centre of midfield, I think Roy Keane's going to be tempted at all times to get past and get forward as often as possible.
It's the sort of atmosphere that you come to expect with these meetings. I think you can certainly make a case for saying that this is the biggest, most passionate fixture in the English game. Other clubs would possibly argue, but I must say the rivalry here, it's intense jealousy really between two northwestern cities and epitomised by the fortunes of two world-famous football clubs.
There's an atmosphere about this game, Martin, that isn't around, well, it isn't around anywhere else, I don't think, in another fixture in the English League, and I think that's what makes it special. It almost borders with the fans. I sometimes hate to say it, but it almost borders on hatred for each other. But it's an intense jealousy. You used the words, and it is that.
Manchester United have the supremacy that Liverpool enjoyed for so long, but they never gave Liverpool an easy ride, and they spent season after season looking up at them in the league table, and they in turn will expect a battle royal here at Anfield tonight. The weather, of course, we must bring you up to date with that after so much havoc wreaked by the monsoon conditions over the past couple of days. The drainage here has always been very good, and it's needed to be. There's been a lot of rain, but I must say there's never been any doubt at all, and it's the sort of surface for the match of this importance needs for the talent perhaps to triumph over the temperament, which will be put to the test by the sheer intensity of feeling between the two sets of supporters.
Yeah, there's no chance that the game will be spoilt by the conditions. The pitch looks almost perfect, so the players can have no complaints about that. But you often build up games like this between such giants and you're disappointed. I just hope tonight, at the end of this match, no one's disappointed.
5 years ago this month, Arsenal led the league, 11 points back were Liverpool. Arsenal also had a game in hand, but such were the events over the second half of the season. Then that lead was whittled away, but Arsenal in the end had to come here on that fateful final day to win by 2 clear goals to stop Liverpool seizing the title. I tell you that just to give you an example of what's happened in the past and what maybe the more pessimistic Manchester United fans might fear over the next few weeks. And there's no doubt that Alex Ferguson's players will have to be at their very best to deal with not just Graham Souness's side, but the feeling against Manchester United that's coming from the Kop, and of course the feeling that's totally behind Liverpool Football Club. And it's good to see at a time when the manager has been the subject for so much criticism. The ranks are closed here, Andy.
Oh, for sure.
Well, this is what it's like at the moment, and they haven't yet caught sight of the players. Philip Don is ready. Philip Don, who is on the short list of referees for the World Cup finals in America, and he's one of his linesmen tonight. Roy Pearson is on the equivalent list of linesmen. You can just see him peeping there behind the other official, Alan Streets. Ian Rush, the captain of Liverpool. Bruce Robillard, who's played against Manchester United so often. This is the 28th time he faces them in Liverpool colours tonight. So he knows what awaits in terms of a test when they finally appear out into the limelight. Liverpool out first. They're not appearing side by side, the two teams tonight. Well, you can feel the passion behind Liverpool coming from the Kop, and you will hear the antagonism that they feel for Manchester United in a moment or two. Alex Ferguson just hanging on to his team for some last words there. Andrei Kanchelskis towards the back of the line. Paul Ince, who always likes to come out last. It's a very different kind of welcome for the visitors. Well, there is no need to tempt you with any extra teases tonight. The simple description says it all. Liverpool against Manchester United, live after the break.
You're watching Sky Sports.
It's match time on Sky Sports. Liverpool versus Manchester United. Exclusively live on Ford Monday Night Football.
This is Sky Sports at Anfield to see Liverpool play Manchester United. Match commentators are Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Liverpool's biggest game of the season, no doubt about that. No love lost between the red half of Merseyside and the red half of Manchester. the men from Manchester, as you can see, in the all-black strip tonight. The enthusiasm from the Kop inconveniencing Peter Schmeichel, and Steve Bruce appeared to win the toss and asked United to defend the Kop end in the first half. Andy, a bit of a psychological twist there.
I think so, Mark. Most captains bringing his team into this sort of intense situation would turn Liverpool round and have them kicking into the Kop.
Cantona. Dixon quickly. A surprise selection. Barnes also. The two in tandem down the left-hand side straight away. Fowler going towards the near post. The block by Bruce, who picked up a facial injury against Leeds on Saturday. A couple of stitches and a lip wound. Rush knocking it down. Ince helping it out. Nigel Clough with the shot. And Fowler's in here! Oh, what a start that would have been.
Within a minute, a glorious opportunity for Robbie Fowler. It's a half-hit shot from Clough. Rushy flicks it on. And normally Robbie Fowler would tuck that away without even thinking. They're looking for offside, but it's not. You can see quite clearly. There's no way he's offside. And when you expect him to tuck it away in the corner, he puts it over the top.
He's facing Manchester United for the first time, and he could have scored in the first minute. Dennis Irwin, as you saw from the replay there, was keeping Fowler onside. Pallister, right. Here's Robbie Jones.
I just wonder in that game when sometimes chances are so rare and so important, will Robbie Fowler live to regret that? I hope not.
McManaman is offside this time.
Have a look again. You see there how close it is again. Fowler trying to get in behind Gary Pallister. And I tell you what, there wasn't a lot in it.
Pallister in his usual position alongside Bruce. Brian McClare on the left of midfield. Ryan Giggs through the centre.
He said it was an option he could go to, and he's gone to it right away.
Been a lot of talk in the papers up here about how well Rob Jones has done playing against Ryan Giggs in previous meetings between the two clubs. Well, they're not in direct confrontation in this game as yet. Here's Barnes. Dix. Now Ruddock. One or two characters in the Liverpool back line of questionable temperament, perhaps.
What do you mean, the competitive?
It'll be interesting to see how they cope with the emotion that's all around Anfield tonight. Well, it was put through there by Clough. And Schmeichel had to scamper to be first to it. Kanchelskis. Ince. Keane pulling to the left. Ince looking for him, McManaman in the way, and then in that leggy way of his losing his balance. Here's Irwin. McClare looking for a link up with Giggs. Ince has been in the goals recently, trying the first time up. A little bit of tension in the work of Kanchelskis there. Understandable.
You know it's important when you're playing in an atmosphere like this. You desperately want a touch of the ball. That's the most important thing. Get a touch, pass it off to one of your own players, and somehow you can relax from then a little bit, if relax is a word.
That's a nice touch from Fowler for Barnes. Manchester United have found it more profitable playing away recently than at home, where they've made heavy weather of breaking down some mass defences at Old Trafford. Here's Jones. Schmeichel decides to go, and having made that decision, there was no holding back.
Good example from the goalkeeper. It was a difficult decision to make, but when you make it, you cannot pull back in any way. any hesitation at all there, and Rob Jones was in. But he made sure he got something on the ball, the goalkeeper.
Corner to Liverpool. Taken by Redknapp. Here's Giggs, but the foot that made contact with the ball belonged to Nigel Clough. McClare, man of many parts for Manchester United, but in difficulties here. In the end, kept his nerve against McManaman.
But Steve McManaman let him out of jail free, going nowhere in the middle of his 18-yard box. McManaman had no need to give away a free kick there.
Manchester United, 9 away wins, 28 away points out of 33. They drew at Newcastle, they lost, remember, their only league defeat this season at Chelsea back in September. Bruce and Rush, who've been playing against each other for years since they were rivals at Gillingham and Chester. That's one for Jones to have to come in for. Robillard solved his problems with real panache. McManaman, who got the ball away, had a look at Roy Keane, who came in rather rashly. Clough, been a good start by Liverpool. Jones, Fowler to the right. Just in field of him was McManaman. Owen made sure there was no little layoff there from the 18-year-old. But the outcome, Philip Don, I'm sure, as an experienced referee, be keeping a very close eye on the early tackling. And an offside here.
It's a classic Ian Rush run. Diagonal run to a straight pass. We've seen it so often through the years.
Well, there have been a few trials and tribulations for Ian Rush recently. He was left out at Sheffield Wednesday. He was taken off at Sheffield United. And Robbie Fowler has been scoring more regularly of the two. Redknapp. Here's McManaman. Wright got to the ball quickly, but only gave it to Irwin, who curls it to where he hopes Giggs will get there before Wright. It's a corner.
Well, it's got a piece to it already, this game, isn't it?
Giggs to take the corner. Palace there by the near post. Cantona waiting. Certainly went into Pallister's area, where Wright took charge at the cost of another corner. The eyes look a bit heavy. He hasn't had more than a couple of hours sleep because of his family problems at the moment. Trying to get his concentration right in the cauldron that is Anfield at the moment. And Wright gets there again. Redknapp, who hoisted it. Bruce has the shot. Liverpool block. Cantona. Yet another valuable goal for Manchester United. Philip Don, the referee, is concerned about the excessive nature of the celebrations here. But really, you can understand the joy for Manchester United and Steve Bruce.
Well, how many times has Steve Bruce produced this type of header for Manchester United? The mark is not great. John Barnes gets caught under the ball there. And it's from, what, 6 yards? And Steve Bruce doesn't miss them often. What a start to the game we've got. Liverpool could be 1 up, and they find themselves within 8 minutes 1 down.
And that is their 50th goal in the Premiership, and it's come from the captain.
Fabulous ball in from Eric Cantona. We talk so much about the header that at times you forget the delivery and the importance of it, and that man that produced it again. Quality was there for all to see.
Well, Cantona has only been on the losing side twice in his 49 previous appearances for Manchester United, and tried to round up the figures on a winning note again, and he's got Manchester United off to An exhilarating start after a rather tentative beginning in terms of the territory of the game. And we hear that there's been a goal at Carrow Road as well. Mark Bowen after 4 minutes for Norwich City. Well, I don't know, for all the betting men watching, who might have had a flutter on Steve Bruce. We understand he was 20 to 1. Well, on his record, those odds are pretty generous.
Very generous.
Was concerned that McManaman might get past him on the outside. The cross from Jones didn't get too far for Liverpool. Cantona. Kanchelskis holding his position on the right. Mark Wright couldn't intervene. Here's a rampaging Roy Keane. McClare. And back came Clough and they needed him, Liverpool. Well, the passion is tremendous, and at times the passing is as well, which is a great credit to the players. Rush got the run of the ball, luckily against McClare, and Rush has got a couple to the left, one of whom is Redknapp. Barnes still holding on the far side. Dix. Barnes. Using Dix as a decoy. And Barnes, who we've all seen bend them in, even with his right foot coming in on that angle.
Well, he owed the opening to Julian Dix, his unselfish run on the outside. It took Andrei Kanchelskis totally out of position. Gave Barnes an opportunity to try and bend one in the top corner. But it was that man's run that provided the opening. It looks like Liverpool have said that Jamie Redknapp's going to be the central midfield player to get forward and help Fowler and Rush at all times, and just leave Nigel Clough as the backup man. Hopefully he can get on the ball for them and put some passes around.
Well, it was a good touch into the feet of Rush then from Clough. Rush again, served by Barnes that time. Jones. Liverpool using the full width of the pitch with McManaman. Deflecting off Irwin. McClare needs to take a hand.
I wonder if Alex Ferguson felt that Brian McClare's discipline could be relied upon more in this wide area where it might be needed to help Dennis Irwin and maybe Ryan Giggs, who are younger and maybe just playing off the cuff at times.
Clough. Well, Jones might have taken that on. I think he always had it in his mind to leave it, which is what he did in the end. A deep cross from McManaman. Fowler heading it back. Cantona. He's spread the play again, but not with his customary accuracy. He missed this match last season, and Manchester United won by 2-1. But of course he has played here before in the colours of Leeds United.
But already tonight he's dropped deep into 2 or 3 positions and he's been able to pick up the ball, turn and spread the play.
Well, Dix has great attacking gifts from left back. That's a terrific tackle by Ince. Giggs on the run, McClare keeping pace with him. I don't know whether Giggs has seen him. In the end, there was Robbie Jones getting the better of Ryan Giggs.
An example of Paul Ince there, who, as soon as Nigel Clough picked up the ball and was given no time, he pounced on him immediately, won the ball, and Giggs was away.
brought another corner to Manchester United.
Well, it was an inability to clear the last corner from this side, and they lost the ball.
Bruce, who epitomises the bravery needed in these situations. Right, read it well for Liverpool. Diggs getting a better angle. The sound was that it hit the post, and Grobbelaar was just covering it and making sure he didn't get a touch.
Good goalkeeping this, to tell you, because Bruce knew it was going to be close. And what he decides to do, I think you'll find he puts both arms almost parallel with the post to say, well, let's just see, I'll make sure. But it did look like it came off the arm, didn't it?
Have a bit of kidology, perhaps, in the end. And he's never been short of that.
It's fair to say it hit both arm and post.
John Barnes go from here? You can see Rush in the middle and Fowler trying to attack the cross as well, but it was really lofted straight into the arms of Schmeichel.
It's a training cross, Peter Schmeichel, that. You get the young kids to knock in hundreds of those in a training session.
Barnes, who picked up a groin injury over the holiday period at the game against Tottenham. Ruddock. Manchester United just moved up at the right time, and there was nowhere for Robbie Fowler to run without going offside.
They've almost gone 4-3-3, Manchester United, early in the game, with Kanchelskis, Cantona and Giggs up front, and Keane, Ince and McClare there, tucked in the left, and they're not spread across as a four, as we'd normally expect from Manchester United.
Well, confusion between Pallister and Schmeichel, whether Pallister couldn't hear a call because of the bedlam here.
Difficult to hear anything.
Jones. In terms of scoring goals, Liverpool there's a mistake by Ince and Fowler. They might get one here, and Schmeichel stops Fowler from equalising.
Well, this is not an easy chance. It's an uncharacteristic mistake from Paul Ince. It's a horrible spinning ball you see there. It's just about to land in front of Paul Ince. And that's what made it difficult. But Fowler pounced on it. Took his time, sized up the situation, but could only drive it straight at Peter Schmeichel.
Well, Fowler getting the opportunity with another example of the tension surrounding the match when Ince can move in an unconvincing way towards the ball as he did then. You have to feel that the atmosphere was getting to him. It goes back to Grobbelaar. They've come up with 12 different scorers in league games, Liverpool, this season, which matches Manchester United. But now, having conceded a goal here, they've just had one clean sheet in 12 games. And there's uncertainty between Ruddock and Wright, and Giggs didn't hit it cleanly.
I can't believe that, Martin. I cannot believe that defending. You wouldn't expect it. Well, you would expect to see it with schoolboys, really, on a pitch on a Saturday, but not from two experienced centre backs like Neil Ruddock and Mark Wright. It's a little bit of after you. If you don't want it, well, neither do I. And none of them go to meet the ball. They allow it to bounce behind them. And really, Ryan Giggs will be disappointed he hasn't punished them more severely.
Cantona, that's brilliant. Giggs, and just a glance from Julian Dix to take the ball away from Kanchelskis.
The skill again to admire from Eric Cantona. In all this tension, he's still producing flicks here, back heels there. Super back heel to release Ryan Giggs.
But that earlier error between Ruddock and Wright has been rather typical of Liverpool in recent weeks. Cantona. testing their defences again. Well, Manchester United have had some excellent results at Anfield in recent times. Ron Atkinson never lost a league game here when he was manager. Alex Ferguson won the first time he brought Manchester United here back in 1986. And of course he won the last time he brought them here last March. The side are winning again. And they're winning by 2-0. A glorious goal from Ryan Giggs. And Jamie Redknapp is punished, and Liverpool, well, have they lost out with just 20 minutes gone against Manchester United and their capabilities? Do you feel that that is possibly the way it's going to fall for Graham Souness's side here?
Yes, I think you're right. That is self-inflicted. The pass from Jamie Redknapp wasn't great. But if you're going to be really harsh about it, I wouldn't expect a centre-half to lose out in a tackle like that. I really wouldn't. But Ryan Giggs didn't have to do an awful lot. But from then on he did. He's got a decision to make. He knows Grobler's come out to narrow the angle. He knows he's got to be accurate. He knows the precision needs to be there. And it was. It was a wonderful finish from Giggs.
Here's Ruddock. Barnes for Rush. Liverpool needs something, and soon. Kanchelskis caught by Clough. And it's a tough lesson for Robbie Fowler, who's had a couple of chances here. Liverpool haven't scored. Manchester United have taken their opportunities. And when you talk about a side that's so hard to beat as United, where can Liverpool recover?
It's so typical. We saw Andy Cole produce a similar piece of skill against Oldham earlier in the season. And Ryan Giggs was, well, it was one equally to admire. What a test this is now for Liverpool. In their own backyard, 2-0 down after 20 minutes against, you're right, the fiercest rivals.
Unbeaten at Anfield since September the 12th. Graham Souness, who's often looked a solitary figure in a club where the supporters sing, "You'll never walk alone." Do you feel that things could go from bad to worse here for Liverpool? Ruddock getting involved after the free kick had been given.
Well, they're just not getting an ounce of time, are they? A second of time. Any time any of the red shirt tries to put their foot on it, or take some time on the ball, then there's a black shirt around them and putting them under pressure. They look a yard quicker all over the pitch at the moment, Manchester United. I know that's easy to say when you're 2-0 up.
Well, they certainly didn't look a yard quicker before they scored, did they? Liverpool began the game, and it's of no consolation at all now, but they began the game brightly. Robbie Fowler right in at goal inside the first minute, the ball ending up in the Kop.
Football's full of ifs though, isn't it, Martin? This is incredible. I think that's the first time we've ever seen a free kick given from outside the box and United don't have a player in there.
Owen, it's Trey! And everything they hit ends up in the back of the net. And even by Manchester United standards, this is simply stunning.
This is incredible, Mark. They didn't have a player. Look, they don't have a player anywhere near the box. They must have so much confidence in Dennis Irwin's ability, and he didn't disappoint them. This is a beautifully struck free kick. Look at the bend in the ball, you can see it. Look at the accuracy of it. It's a magnificent free kick from Dennis Irwin.
Well, I think we imagined all sorts of scenarios here, but hardly this one. We're 23 minutes gone. It's Liverpool 0, Manchester United 3. Bruce Grobbelaar has had to pick out the ball from his net, put there by Steve Bruce, by Ryan Giggs and by Dennis Irwin. Dix, Redknapp. Clough. Oh! Well, they're replying kind. 3-1. The Kop come alive.
Well, this is a tie that's not normally noted for an abundance of goals. But what? 25 minutes gone, this the fourth. And again, it's a strike to admire. We really have been spoilt tonight. 4 magnificent goals we've seen already. And I honestly can't fault either goalkeeper for any of them. Oh, they couldn't, could they? They needed a lifeline quickly. And has Nigel Clough given them that?
Well, Manchester United goaded into pushing forward straight away from the restart. And here's Giggs. The gauntlet has been thrown down. We've brought you so much live on Sky Sports. I would honestly venture to say we've brought you nothing like this. This is quite phenomenal. In the context of the Championship, in the context of extreme rivalry between two clubs from the top draw, year in, year out, and they're putting on a show at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Manchester United 3.
Let's spoil ourselves again, though. Let's have another look at Dennis Irwin's free kick, because it really is one to admire. Look at this. Bruce Grobbelaar, not a lot wrong with his position, but I tell you what, there was even less wrong with Dennis Irwin's strike. And we can say this about Clough. What is he? Almost 35 yards out there. And even a goalkeeper of Schmeichel's quality can't get near it.
And for once, Manchester United having to play on the retreat there through Roy Keane. Goals at Carrow Road as well, an equaliser for Newcastle United. Peter Beardsley with 20 minutes gone, 1-1 there. Barnes. Redknapp's got some space. Fowler to the left. There was a lot to do. And Ince kept his eye on the ball and wasn't distracted by the swaying body of the 18-year-old, but United don't get very far. Keane. Foul by Rush.
I think he turned round, Roy Keane. Suddenly saw it was Ian Rush and thought, well, you don't go around kicking people. You see, the tackle goes in, he bounces up looking for someone. Suddenly realises it's Ian Rush.
Wicks and Cantona. Kanchelskis. Oh, and there's a slip by Jones. Clough with a sort of commitment that Liverpool need in abundance. They look so uncertain in defence. Their strengths for the most part this season have been further forward, and now they're going to have to rely on any attacking advantages the likes of Barnes might be able to bring now.
I think that sums up the season so far. It's been so brittle at the back. Something you'd never attach to a Liverpool side of old. But they have shown, I think, that they can score goals. And the potential is there to score goals.
Barnes battled to get it back. Well, it was not a cry of any great conviction from the Kop as McManaman went down.
They're not too happy though, the rest of the United back four. They're all pushed out, looking to catch McManaman offside, and Dennis Irwin has tracked them all the way back in.
Bruce played the ball. Philip Don was, 15 yards away. The foul is hurt. And Steve Bruce obviously was stretched as well. And after so many games, the fatigue factor isn't just from tonight, of course.
I think we can see here that Bruce does everything, I think, right. Gets there, just toes the ball away. I think it's a jarring of that right leg of Robbie Fowler. He seemed to jar it as he landed on it. And I hope that's all it is, because Liverpool won't want to lose his threat.
Well, a heady opening half hour for the neutrals, for Manchester United for the most part, although some of their effervescence has just got a little bit flattened by Nigel Clough's goal. And what viewing for everyone who's made their way to the ground, including Walter Smith, who I suppose must see this a bit akin to Rangers v Celtic, and he's just come through that experience successfully.
His lovely wife Ethel with him there as well.
Rangers beating Celtic with the good old Scottish combination of Haitley, Mikhailichenko and Kuznetsov.
Good old Scottish names those, weren't they?
Barnes, who has looked sharp. That's an encouraging sign for Liverpool. Leclerc. Here's Giggs. And the referee played the advantage. Clough and Giggs still exchanging words. Foul is offside. Will there be any action from the referee here? It won't surprise me if there is, because Philip Don, I think, did what any good official would do then. He recognised who was the culprit, who was Clough, but he didn't need to invoke the punishment straight away because Manchester United still had the ball.
Yeah, well, he assessed the situation. It's an ugly looking tackle, isn't it? And I think Nigel Clough certainly not one noted for putting his foot in, shall we say.
Well, we've seen Rush throwing his weight around in the tackle, and Clough. This is Liverpool against Manchester United. What do you expect?
It's funny you mentioned Walter Smith. We saw him there, and I'm thinking about the Old Firm game at the weekend, and it ran along very similar lines with the away team Rangers going 3-0 up in the first, I think, 20 minutes of that game. We've seen exactly the same here tonight. The away side in a big game like this, rushing to a 3-0 lead.
Walter Smith, of course, who was the assistant to Graham Souness before he took over when Graham came to Anfield, took over at Ibrox. So, just recap, as they say. Steve Bruce got the first goal. Ryan Giggs the second. Dennis Irwin the third. But while they were still celebrating, Nigel Clough, who's just a black mark on his performance with that booking, back to 3-1.
I've only had 4 goals. Are you sure about that?
You're getting greedy.
Are you sure about that? Goodness me. I don't think either goalkeepers had a safety make when we're 3-1.
Well, just the one Schmeichel from Robbie Fowler when Paul Ince made that uncharacteristic error. Keane climbing right, read it well. Rob Jones letting the ball run, who actually made his Liverpool debut coming from Crewe in one of these matches at Old Trafford. A couple of years ago now, acquitted himself very well, and apart from illness and injury, has been very much to the fore with Liverpool since. Leclerc turning back into Fowler. Well, he does seem to have ice in his veins, Brian McClare. Very rarely see him provoked into any indiscretions. And what an advantage to Alec Ferguson to have a player of his versatility to come in this mini injury crisis for Manchester United. They haven't had too much trouble on that front. They were just slowed up for a moment by the referee's intervention. Alistair clears, but only to Jones. McManaman. Liverpool looking to make up lost ground. Ruddock. the head of Pallister. Redknapp, well, everything you see hit towards goal. In a game like this, you expect to see ending up in the back of the net.
I think Roy Keane's been booked, Martin, for a tackle he made earlier on Nigel Clough. And that's Redknapp's volley, but obviously Philip Dawn again let play go on, but he decided that Keane's challenge, a late one, warranted a booking.
10 minutes to go to half-time. Forward from Bruce. Cantona. Well, if there's a bit of hot temper around, Roy Keane's usually not far from the scene. But he's young and he's enthusiastic, and it's an attitude that I'm sure he'll just learn to curb a little bit. Mustn't be too critical in a match like this. Redknapp. Barnes. Here's Wright. Dix. Rush the pull to the left. Big hole in the middle for Liverpool at the moment, though. All the midfield players are standing off. But they've got it through to Fowler. McManaman's made a move into the middle now. Fowler against Bruce. For Barnes. Can McManaman get to this one? He does. But not with any great self-belief. He hasn't scored since those two that we brought you live on Sky Sports in August at Swindon.
Well, I think this cross is there to be attacked with a determination and a belief that you're going to score. I think you got it perfectly there. I don't think McMahon believed enough that he could score from that cross. But it was a wonderfully inviting cross from John Barnes.
I was looking yesterday at margins of victory for Manchester United at Anfield. The biggest one in relatively recent times was 4-1 back in 1969. Bobby Charlton was a scorer then. There was an own goal from Ron Yates, now the Liverpool chief scout. And Chelskis. Manchester United trying to make it 4-1 again here. Most of their successes on this ground have been by the odd goal, and there's rarely been a huge gulf between the two clubs. We've got an FA Cup special for you on Sunday. All the stories, all the goals then. And on Monday, the holders make the short trip across London to the New Den. Wright coming forward. Rush. Can Clough get to this one? He can! It's 3-2! Nigel Clough again!
Oh, this is absolutely incredible stuff. What a marvellous response from Liverpool. But it's an error that brings the opening. A bit of confusion there. It comes off Keane. There's a big, big gap there that Nigel Clough strides into. And he does finish it with real confidence. Doesn't seem a problem. The ball bounces off Roy Keane. And Clough's onto it in a flash. And that's a great finish.
5 goals in 38 minutes here at Anfield. Well, Manchester United might be godlike in what they can create in terms of goal scoring, but they're only mortals if you can get the ball at them, like any other defenders around. But Liverpool have shaken off the sadness at losing 3 goals in what a 14-minute spell. The Kop sense that perhaps one of the great recoveries is going to manifest itself. A long way to go yet, because Liverpool still haven't shown any great conviction in their defending that Manchester United won't score again. And here's Giggs, and they should have scored again, and still they might with Keane, and with Ince, no. Ince again, Parker. Liverpool continue to labour defensively. Off the head of Rob Jones, Cantona with the volley.
Labour's a word, Martin. Labour's a word. Who'd be a Liverpool manager at the moment? You see your team concede 3 goals, claw back into the game, and then look at this. Looking for offside again, Rob Jones, when he should just be defending. And how on earth does Ryan Giggs get nothing on that? Completely misses the ball. And even then, they're struggling to clear their lines. They frantically get it away. This is wonderful stuff.
Here's Parker.
Wind that clock back. We don't want that much time gone already.
McClare, whistle's gone. Free kick to United. It's a bit wider, the angle of this free kick. Owen certainly assuming seniority at the moment.
An angle
over Giggs and Cantona. And Bruce Grobbelaar wondering whether he's got to go to his right. He can't go too soon. It's deflected off Redknapp. Well, we're 5 minutes away from half-time. It's been a first half to tell your grandchildren about. Quite extraordinary happenings here at Anfield. Ince bounces off Ruddock. Well, we wondered, I think, here whether there'd be flat points, perhaps to the detriment of the football. Of course there have been moments of passion. There have been moments of eccentricity in the tackle. Bookings for Clough and for Keane. But the football has dominated, and how. Parker. Grobbelaar decides that that might have been a corner. I think he had to go for it. And it's a throw to United. And any ball into the Liverpool penalty area is inducing panic. And here's Kanchelskis. Giggs. That was Rob Jones. Timely. Harsh words from Dix in the direction of England's shortlisted World Cup linesman, Roy Pearson. He's one of 25 on a list that are going to be reduced to 22, so he's got a good chance of going to the United States. McManaman.
This is wonderful stuff, Mark. It really is.
And still, and Schmeichel handles it with authority, clears it to where he hoped Giggs might set Manchester United going again.
Well, people talk about John Barnes not having the pace of old, but he's got the trickery of old for sure. And he completely left Paul Parker for dead there.
Well, the game that every Liverpool supporter wants to see his team win. 20 minutes ago, they had no chance. Thanks to Nigel Clough now, anything is possible.
Here we see it again. He's just at the edge of the picture, and he gambles there. He takes a chance, and he gets lucky. The ball drops for him, and he smashes it into the corner.
Ince. Parker's got plenty of pace. He also had plenty of nerve. The back pass had just the right sort of weight on it for Schmeichel to clear without any undue difficulty. McClare, that comes off McManaman. Grobbelaar says he sees the play in the best position. Gives Ryan Giggs a taste of his own medicine. McClare. Clough, who's been trying to find his position really for Liverpool. And he's got to operate the way Graham Souness wants to set out his strategy as a central midfield man. But he's shown he can get goals coming onto the play. Barnes, Dix, who played a prominent role as it built up down the left-hand side. Liverpool don't want the first half to come to an end.
Neither do I.
And yet, at 3-0, they'd have wanted the night to come to a brief end and get it over with. Here's Rob Jones. Now McManaman. Clough. Right, steering it precisely to the feet of McManaman. A trick to lose Keane for a moment, but the slip allowed Keane a second chance. Giggs. Cantona looking to stay onside. He's done that. Can he collect it? Not quite. But there are still possibilities for United here. He started this goal glut in the first half. Can they have the final word? And it's a free kick to Liverpool as we move into stoppage time.
Well, they held him up well, both Barnes and Ruddock, and gave Cantona nowhere to go. But I think both back fours will be in for one or two heated words from their respective managers at half-time.
Yes, it's a shame that they're going to have their say and maybe tighten things up. No, whistle from Philip Don. A purposeful run from Pallister. Giggs, one of the United scorers. Working hard to get his cross towards the head of Cantona. Clare was set for any knockdown that was coming back across the face of the goal. Well, I don't know what the two sets of supporters make of all this, because there have been ebbs and flows here of the most dramatic nature, and the whistle's gone. Fowler's put the ball in the net, but he was the fouler on Parker.
He was a little bit unlucky as well. Not so much the foul, I think the legs get tangled. He wants it in the inside of Parker, and you see there, there's not an awful lot wrong, but in that situation it would have been a very brave referee not to have blown for a free kick.
To try and hurt Liverpool as Manchester United try and reassert their superiority. They're not allowed to go on here because the whistle's gone, and it's the end of a first half sent from heaven. 5 goals, 3 of them for Manchester United, all cleanly taken. Steve Bruce, Ryan Giggs and Dennis Irwin with the free kick. Liverpool looked dead and buried, but Nigel Clough hadn't given it up, and he struck twice to get Liverpool within range at half-time at Anfield. Liverpool 2, Manchester United 3. I know you won't go away.
Welcome back. Match facts then. Well, you can read them yourself. In short, unbelievable in the first half at Anfield. The important one, Liverpool 2, Manchester United 3. And Liverpool have 52% of the possession. 1-1 at Carrow Road, incidentally, Norwich City and Newcastle United. Phil Thompson and George Best with us here. There's a stunned disbelief about the place, isn't there?
It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Tremendous game. Tremendous.
Fabulous stuff.
He must have been overworked, that fella doing the match facts. I tell you, his fingers must have been going there. Dear me, I don't know how he could keep up with it. Sure, he must have missed some of it.
You enjoying it, George?
Unbelievable. That's the best 45 minutes. I mean, it passed like about 10 minutes. It's the best 45 minutes I've seen for a long time.
Yeah. OK, let's start to pick our way through the goals. That's really all we've got time for. 1-0 to Liverpool. The goal scorer was Steve Bruce. Liverpool causing themselves problems really from that moment, Phil.
Yeah, it was. Jamie made a bit of a bad clearance and it was headed out. Nobody really picks up. This is a tremendous ball. It's got pace and everything.
It's like money.
Steve Bruce there, I said before we came to the match, I said this fella scores a lot of goals.
Inch perfect the ball, George, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look really though who's left marking him. John Barnes wasn't it back there?
Yeah, they had plenty of time. Somebody else should have been marking him, but I know it happens very, very quickly. But all in all, somebody else should have been marking. Steve Bruce, do you know how many goals he scores? Somebody should be looking for him straight away.
That was 1-0 Manchester United, and Robbie Fowler had a great chance to open the scoring in the first minute for Liverpool, hadn't he? Ryan Giggs made it 2 for Manchester United. Again, problems of their own making, really, but didn't he take his chance?
I think this ball's a little bit, it's too long, it's too dicey. And Jamie's dropped a bad ball to Mark Wright. He's missed a tackle. It was a catalogue of mistakes, except for that.
Well, Giggsy earlier on had a similar position, didn't he? And we thought he was going to chip. This time he's gone for a chip, and it's perfect. But again, defensively, I don't think either manager is going to be very happy from the defensive point of view. This game could end up 6-6 the way it's going.
Well, let's hope so. Irwin got the third. Dennis Irwin of Manchester United from the free kick. The only person in the box was Bruce Grobbelaar.
Yeah, but they're saying that, and how many people are in the wall are standing there? Nobody would have got to that ball. Nobody would have got to, even if there was somebody on the line there, nobody would have got to him. Give credit where it's due.
It's a great free kick,
Pace,
I think Brucey for a second.
Away.
Brucey thought it was no mind, didn't he?
He was hoping
it would go wide, yeah.
Great shot.
3-0 then to Manchester United, and then Liverpool got themselves back into the match with a goal from Nigel Clough, as Martin said in his commentary, really, as United was celebrating. They needed this, Phil, didn't they?
Yeah, you're just saying, after they've got the third, you said we need something straight away to get back into the game. And you know, that could go anywhere. He's took a chance and he's had a go. He's been quite impressive in this first half. So he's sitting in a good position. I think it takes a bit of a deflection. No,
just bent.
There you go. Tremendous. That's what we needed to get back in the game.
3-1 then, and Nigel Clough got the 5th goal of the half, which made it 3-2 to Manchester United. Be some comeback, wouldn't it, George?
Yeah, amazing. A little bit of a mix-up here again with United. A little bit unlucky there to come off the defender, but be fair to them, you know, come back from 3 down and be back in it. I mean, it sets it up perfectly.
Well, you'd like to think now we've got the impetus to push on. Like, I'll tell you what, Manchester United players sitting there at the moment are going to be a little bit frightened, I'll tell you. Yeah. It'll be Liverpool will be sitting there with the tails up.
What's going to happen?
Yes, can us. We only used to play.
I tell you what, you've got
to. We know.
Well, for sure, Liverpool are going to come out and go for it. They've come back from the dead and back in it, so you know they're going to go for it.
I still think we got a chance.
I just hope it's. And I must say the referee's been magnificent as well.
Yes,
it must be said.
And if we get anything like that first 45, it's unbelievable. Yeah. I'm glad it came tonight.
Me too. 3-2 to Manchester United after 45 minutes. What's in store? Liverpool have got the bit between their teeth. Manchester United won't want to let a 3-goal lead slip. We have got 45 minutes of pulsating football to follow. Liverpool 2, Manchester United 3, and I'm delighted to say we're ready to go again. Let's join Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Well, it's just a sign there, Richard, that Alex Ferguson looked as though he was smiling and enjoying it as much as the rest of us. Manchester United good enough to roar into a 3-goal lead here. But Liverpool not giving up, almost a little microcosm perhaps of the season itself. As to whether there can be a comeback from a chasing club in terms of league status to threaten the runaway leaders, we must wait and see. It would certainly help the chasing pack if Liverpool can continue on the same road that Nigel Clough has put them on with his 2 goals. Here's Wright. Of all the things that might have been said at half-time, one would have thought that Graham Souness might have had a word or two for his back four. For an improvement there. Here's Dix. Bruce, one of the United rear guard, coming in. Ian Rush, who we've hardly had time to mention, of course, the player who went 23 matches for Liverpool against Manchester United without scoring, but has now got goals in each of the last 3 before today.
A timely reminder for Manchester United if we get one now, wouldn't it? That he's still around and firing. But if they are going to get something, Martin, they'll have to do something that no other team has managed this season in the league, and that's score 3 times against Manchester United in the league match.
Yes, of course, Galatasaray did it in Europe and stunned just about the whole country in doing so. But this, I would venture to say, would be even more stunning in these circumstances. But United still have the 1-goal lead, and McClare trying to launch an attack here with the help of Cantona. Back comes McManaman. Clough. Redknapp. Barnes in a narrow position this time. The width on the left coming from Dix, but not too far forward, so Barnes looks in the other direction. The player known here as Trigger, Robbie Jones. Clough. Barnes had some good moments, and well, the referee indicating that he felt Barnes ducked into that high foot. Let's get a quick word from Nick Collins. Nick.
Martin, I asked Graham Souness whether he believed Liverpool could complete the fight back. He touched the "This is Anfield" sign above the tunnel and said, "We most certainly can." But I tell you what, the best line I heard at half-time was in the press room. Somebody walked in and said, "This game badly needs a goal to liven it up."
Redknapp. Here's Clough. Fowler and Rush ahead of him. Rush timing his run, or trying to do that, but the master of that particular move couldn't quite come up with the proper execution that time.
They'll keep trying. This is a Ian Rush trademark. He's unlucky because Steve Bruce falling helped him slightly. Just made the run a little bit too early.
It hasn't been an evening ruined by the offside flag. Here's Kanchelskis. That's a fine ball, not easy for Mark Wright to deal with, but on the half volley he knocked it out of harm's way. Always been blessed with excellent technique for Liverpool number 5. But there are times where you wonder whether he's really fulfilled all the promise that his ability suggests. In the category of ex-England players at the moment. Fowler. Current England man struggling in the side ints, but the free kick given against him. Dix. Nicely done for Redknapp. Barnes. Prepared to take on Paul Parker. John Barnes really looking as though he's in the mood tonight. And a kind of exhilaration that must come from participating in a match like this, certainly suiting the Barnes style.
Well, if he can get the ball to John Barnes in the last third, there's always going to be an opportunity for Liverpool in this game. The further forward you can get the ball to Barnes, the more danger he can create.
Did Ruddock mean that?
Are you sure?
It went straight to Rob Jones. McManaman's run it out. Certainly with McManaman on the right, Barnes on the left. If the supply is there to wide positions, the United rear guard can be stretched. And with the running of Fowler, all the know-how of Rush, just to worry when they lose the ball for Liverpool. Because you do feel United could still take them to the cleaners again. And that's just adding to the appeal of a quite extraordinary match here at Anfield. Liverpool 2, Manchester United 3. Clough. Got it back again by the back of referee Philip Don. Dix. Here's Keane on a run. Kanchelskis wanting to go ahead of him and give him an angle. There it is. Cantona and Giggs in the centre, and no one closing Kanchelskis down. And will they pay the price for that? Cantona! Corner.
Well, that's going to be the danger. All of this second half. As Liverpool throw men forward, they're always going to be looking to spring forward into attack Manchester United. And they come very, very close here to making it 4-2.
Giggs with the corner. After staying upfield, Bruce is kept back to the halfway line, and now it turns. Corner played short. Kanchelskis making space for a shot of his own. And again you feel Graham Souness will be tearing his hair out. It's all very well to pay tribute to the attacking qualities, and we must do that. But Liverpool sides of bygone vintage surely would never have let Kanchelskis wriggle into that position. Andy, sorry.
No, the power was there, the accuracy wasn't.
That's the problem, of course, for the current crop of players. The comparisons at Anfield are so difficult. But look at Fowler. Rush in the middle, it's come behind him. Chance might still be on for McManaman. Don't get that sort of time when Paul Ince is about.
That was poor play from Robbie Fowler. Wonderful situation opened up for Liverpool.
Keane. We're happy to report that, for whatever the managers have said, there isn't a great deal of sign that the defences are getting on top here. Cantona. Leclerc was quite entitled, really, to have a swing at that. It just rolled away from the Frenchman for a moment. Jones. Room for Redknapp here. McManaman. Redknapp's gone on ahead of the ball. Clough in a holding position in midfield. Dix there to help him out. Barnes, as you'd expect, loitering on the left. He'll link up with Rush. Now Clough. Just imagine the noise here if Liverpool were to equalise. Bit of pushing by Fowler.
Just a nudge, but it was enough. The opportunity was there because they'd drawn Steve Bruce out the middle, which doesn't happen very often. They'd drawn him out towards Julian Dix.
Free header for Wright. Dix immediately going to put some pressure on Grobbelaar, as if maybe the goalkeeper might give him a chance with something eccentric with the ball at his feet. Jones. Fowler darted on well. Rush is stopped by the whistle for a foul on Fowler.
Well, that's a poor decision, Martin. It really is. He has allowed play to go on so many times today. And this was an ideal case for play to be allowed to go on. The touch is there. Rushes through ahead of the play. I think the referee, when he sees that, will know he made a mistake.
Yes, it's one of those, if it had happened early in the match, you could perhaps think the referee wanted to clamp down on any physical contact, but it hasn't developed into a difficult game to control. Clough. Cantona. Keane was unattended through the middle, and look at Giggs on the left. And the flag is up, and if Manchester United had got that right, the gulf would more than likely have widened again.
Well, they were all over the place. They committed so many men forward. You look at Julian Dix, I don't think Giggs is offside. Dix steps out from playing Ryan Giggs onside, and the linesman gives him the benefit.
Oh, there's a weak one from Jones. At times there's a suicidal streak to Liverpool, but they're still in the game. And who would have thought that after Manchester United's opening salvo? 3 goals, all in their own way, expertly taken. Redknapp and a duel of strength with McClare, and again, and Liverpool come out on top. Clough.
It's all been played in front of the United rearguard, though. That time they're going to need a bit of penetration.
McManaman trying to supply it against Irwin, trying to get it to the feet of Fowler in a very congested penalty area, and there's a bit of breathing space for United here. Robbie Fowler trying so hard to make an impression. He has got an excellent temperament, and you don't feel that the concern about a couple of missed chances will interfere with his application over the rest of the game. And of course he didn't have a good game, they have been telling me, here at Ipswich, but he still cropped up to hit the bar in the closing stages, and as the ball dropped, Ian Rush won the points at Portman Road. Flags up. Clough. Can pick a pass again. It's one of his strong suits, really. Maybe just miscalculated the willingness of Rob Jones to roar on down that right-hand side.
Well, I said at the beginning of the match it would be important that when Nigel Clough playing in that central midfield area that we did get possession of the ball, and I think the figures showed at half-time that they had the majority of the possession, certainly the greater share of it, and Clough has continued in the second half to get himself involved and on the ball.
Ruddock. As Barnes moved infield, Dix went to the left, but Kanchelskis covered him. It was very noticeable, and so Liverpool have to try again on the opposite side. Been plenty of possession for McManaman in this phase of the match. Jones. Fowler taking over. And, 2 youngsters not on the same wavelength there. Jamie Redknapp. Out by Dix. You do feel that with their record to support the Manchester United and the ability they clearly have to carve out chances here, that they would have an appetite for the second half. They wouldn't, despite losing 2 of the 3-goal advantage they had. But Alex Ferguson would surely feel that his team has the capacity to score again in the second half.
The natural game's to go forward. I don't think Alex Ferguson's team knows what it's like to take a backward step.
And just think of the recent game at Oldham. Of course, Oldham got it back to 2-2, and United finished on the right end of a 5-2 scoreline. Here's McClare, and Grobbelaar came, and in any case the flag was up.
Well, I think that was an awful decision. Certainly my first viewing of it said McClare timed his run perfectly. There's the ball, and that is a perfectly timed run from McClare, and it is an awful decision from the linesman, but thankfully it wasn't a goal, it was disallowed.
That was another piece of perceptive McClare play to just bend his run round the outside then. Been a little bit of a switch here by Liverpool, seeing John Barnes for the moment go up front with Ian Rush and Robbie Fowler, who we saw in that England under-18 tournament success, coming from midfield to good effect, doing that now, and it's called a foul on the edge of the area. Fowler started very deep to push on into this position.
Well, it all started in the halfway line. I think the referee says that he just gets a click in the heels there. There's nothing Paul Ince does or tries to do. They're very similar to Fowler and Parker in the first half when a free kick was given against the Liverpool player. A free kick is given against Paul Ince when he could do very little about it.
Ince booked. But let's concentrate on the free kick here. Dennis Irwin has shown the way to goal at this end of the ground in the first half, and Liverpool learn from that and produce an extraordinary equaliser. Redknapp. Really. Bruce, who doesn't flinch very often, and staggered under the force of the shot. And here's Giggs. And Grobbelaar, just when it seemed to be going past him. Cantona torn between applauding the shot and giving Giggs something of an earful for not releasing the ball.
Well, that's exactly what he was doing. You're like, great run from Giggs, but look at Cantona. He's got two choices. He can shoot himself, he can roll it to Cantona. He opts for the shot, and that's a wonderful save from Bruce Grobbelaar. Keeps his side in the game.
Just for a second, you thought that was past Grobbelaar. Franchelskis has got a teammate in the way, Cantona, but he's still going. Giggs, teasing past McManaman, stretched effectively there by Ruddock, headed back by Pallister. And a bit of argy-bargy involving Clough and Bruce, but I think it was more a bit of shirt-grabbing than anything more sinister. Clough with a booking to his name already, as has Paul Ince, who's really rationed getting into trouble these days. Possibly the caution came more for something he said after the free kick was given. The actual incident itself, only Philip Don can enlighten us on that. Cantona. Away by Ruddock. Liverpool has shown great fighting spirits, but if Manchester United score another, you'd fear for them. Cantona, and Redknapp read it, and I think virtually made the referee's mind up for him by walking for the corner when Philip Don was possibly toying with the idea of giving a goal kick simply because it was a benefit of the doubt for the defensive side. Cantona with the corner this time. Too high for Roy Keane. Leclerc. Right, struggling. The shot from Pallister. Everyone wants to get in on the act. Game underway straight away from a goal kick.
No breathers anywhere, is there?
Right. Now Clough. Clough, room for Redknapp to turn. Problems for United here. Redknapp! And Schmeichel somehow stretched to keep it out.
Well, we were admiring a save from Bruce Grobbelaar a couple of minutes ago. Peter Schmeichel showed us he's not about to be outdone.
Barnes. Clough wants it played to feet. It came a little bit late, but Clough's still able to guide it in to where he hoped to locate Rush.
Well, the key here is Paul Ince, because he slips at a crucial moment. Redknapp comes inside, he loses his foot, and then it opens up. And that's a wonderful save. I think what helped Peter Schmeichel was the height that arrived at. Along the ground or a yard higher, he would have had more difficulty in dealing with it.
20 minutes into the second half. The goalkeepers, who anonymous because of the quality of the goals for much of the first half, are having their say now. Grobbelaar from Giggs, Schmeichel from Redknapp. Julian Dix, who of course packs a punch in the left foot, and Schmeichel. Well, I'm not sure that it was going in, but Schmeichel was taking no chances, and first to join in the applause, the other member of the goalkeepers union on the pitch.
He's only jealous it wasn't him. I mean, he hits this very well. It's probably going wide, but it's one for the cameras, as they say. But didn't he hold on to it very well?
Redknapp. Here's McManaman. Redknapp, off again the holding player, and they can use him to make sure possession is sensible and progressive until it came to the cross.
What a waste. What a waste. They worked the opening well. They worked Jones some time to put the cross in, and he really disappointed with it.
Well used to fill the ground here if Liverpool and Manchester United were down at the bottom of the table. 42,795 lucky souls in the stadium. And the next best thing, watching it on Sky Sports. I do hope you're enjoying it with us. Cantona. Forward from Bruce. Look at that, that's art. From Cantona to Kanchelskis. Giggs is there, McClare coming in too, and really a case of too many cooks.
You just get the impression that any time Manchester United have the confidence and the ability to go up the field and score. And it must be frightening. I mean, look at that. The link-up play is excellent. And then McClare, you see him breaking from the left of the screen. Look at the amount of ground he's making up, but credit Steve McManaman. He tracked him all the way.
Clough. Advantage played by the referee this time. Barnes. Still Barnes. Well, Manchester United may be setting the standards at the moment, but we should point out that Liverpool have done that for years and years and years. John Barnes, part of the championship winning teams in 88 and 90. And between those championships for Manchester United in 1967 and 1993, Liverpool won it 11 times. And they would like us, the supporters in these parts, to not forget that. Roy Keane, as you saw, a bit of trouble injury-wise. Jones. Liverpool still chasing. An improbable recovery. And Rob Jones right on the very edge. Paul Ince has a say again.
It's a wonderful driving run from Rob Jones. Paul Ince is having a work, but as soon as he set off with the heart of the defence, they had a problem. Again, there's not an awful lot Paul Ince can do, to be fair, but I don't think the referee had much option but to award a free kick. And from this angle, it's certainly more to the liking of John Barnes. Favours a left footer. They've also got Neil Ruddock, of course, if they're up for power, but certainly Barnes if they're looking for craft.
They've also got Julian Dix if they opt for power.
Yeah.
Ruddock's placing it.
It's at times like this, Mark, where as the attacking side, you have to be patient and make sure that the referee gets them back 10 yards. I thought the last free kick, they were about 7 at the most. You see, they're still only 8 yards off the ball. Philip Dawn's having a tough time getting them back.
20 minutes to go. Is the stage set here? Liverpool, who were 3 goals down after 23 minutes, trying to hunt down an equaliser against their bitterest of rivals. And Nigel Clough lurking as well, who of course is on a hat-trick. And it is Clough. They've tried to come up with something different. That was Dix on the volley. Helping head for United from Giggs.
Wasn't a great free kick
from Irwin.
Wasn't a great free kick, man. Sorry, as soon as you shift the ball in that situation, then the wall's going to break, or the Chargers are going to attack it. felt sure they would have had a direct strike at goal.
But Nigel Clough, who's had his difficulties after an excellent start to his first season here, really catching the eye for Liverpool in a very big game indeed. Another Liverpool free kick. And Clough on the ball quickly. Dix. Barnes with the back header. Parker. But they have such a sharp cutting edge on the counter-attack, Manchester United. They can't get the ball at the moment. Redknapp, good touch for Barnes, and the return ball, well, even with Schmeichel slipping, he was still able to win the race.
Lovely movement. Jimmy Redknapp's done that a few times tonight. Said he's the one who's looking to get forward, and he's tried and tried, and this is a lovely piece of play. Instant stop for Barnes, and he's away into the hole, and only too much pace on the ball. The only thing wrong with the move.
You just wonder how Graham Souness's stock would be here if he'd had John Barnes for a greater percentages of his matches as manager. 45% in terms of league games in 2.5 years.
I suppose for Liverpool, if you compare a Manchester United player, would you be comparing an Eric Cantona? If United lost someone like Cantona for that length of time, how it would affect them?
Well, many point to him as the catalyst for Manchester United. I state again, this is 50th game for the club. He's only lost 2 of the previous 49. Jones. Oh, Schmeichel started to come impetuously. He's on his way back now. Owen getting the better of McManaman. And the whistle's gone for unfair intervention by Ian Rush.
Well, we said it would be... Sorry, Mark. We said it would be different in the second half. We certainly no right to expect 5 goals. But it's been just as fascinating. Wondering which way it was going to fall. Both teams looking to push forward. Not a negative thought in any of their minds at all.
Right. Clough again using the ball superbly. Barnes just a little over-ambitious that time. Trying to find the run of Redknapp. But the balance in midfield between Clough and Redknapp has been an encouraging feature for Graham Souness. Ince. Well, at one stage it looked like humiliation. Oh, Grobbelaar worried about Cantona. If it is to be defeat for Liverpool, it will come perhaps into the glorious category unless they fall away in the time that remains, and with Manchester United they can go really flashbang wallop. But here come Liverpool. Behind Fowler from Redknapp. I'm sure he wanted that. Dix can drive on here, rushes in the middle. Was in front of Schmeichel and would have got to it first if it had been played into the right area.
I think a bit of composure here from Julian Dix, and Ian rushes in. Look at Rush there. He just wants it rolled in front of him. You can see it. Just roll it in front, he's saying to Julian, and look at his disappointment when he fired it across the goal.
"15 minutes to go. Norwegian, Stig Inge Bjørneby. Here's Giggs. Ince. Getting it back to United. Cantona. Roy Keane in so much space. And Grobbelaar has made sure that Liverpool are not beaten yet.
Well, he does everything right, Roy Keane. Cantona picks him out beautifully. And now you look for him to be going across the goalkeeper. He does just that, It's a great save from Bruce. Unfortunately for Liverpool, no black shirts coming in on the end of it.
Giggs to take the corner. Ruddock who got his head to it. Cantona played wide by Keane. Bruce calling for a deep cross here from Giggs. It's Rob Jones who wrapped his right leg around it. Liverpool just get it away. And Rush tries to apply some pressure on Parker here. Irwin, who's done well against Steve McManaman. Far more terrific technique to admire in a match that you could have forgiven if it had been full of hurly-burly and the passion overriding every other factor. Higgs, McClare setting off. Ball didn't come. Now it's Barnes. Liverpool sticking with the formation of Barnes up front with Rush and Fowler on the left of midfield.
I think that makes sense, Mark, because obviously John Barnes is not 100% match fit, and what they're saying is if he's going to do any damage, then we'll try and get him further forward than maybe he would be if he was on this left side. And that's all it might take, and it might take till the 89th minute. And the ball just might drop around that 18-yard line, and John Barnes might just produce a piece of magic that Liverpool are looking for.
That's what they're hoping for. Ruddock. Knocked away by Parker. Ruddock again. Maybe the strain of the holiday period will catch up with one or two individuals here. Bruce, who's been in the wars in previous games. There. Liverpool are going to make their change now. Bjornaby, who's very left-footed, comes on for McManaman, who's pulled off from the right-hand side. Now, at the moment, there's no replacement. Bjornaby staying on the left. And straight away, his first touch almost takes him in behind Bruce. It's a goal kick.
I think he was just trying to indicate to Robbie Fowler that perhaps he's the one, and it is Robbie Fowler who's been sent over to the right-hand side. But I think that makes sense, the substitution, because I think Steve McManaman has been probably the least effective of the attacking players today. He really hasn't had much change out of Dennis Irwin at all.
Irwin is also taking time out to be one of the United scorers. Bruce, Giggs and Irwin in the first 23 minutes. A rat-a-tat-tat of a reply from Nigel Clough with 2 goals of his own. And Irwin says, welcome to my side of the pitch, to Robbie Fowler.
Well, they've sent Ruddock forward and he's pulled himself onto Paul Parker. They've just changed it now.
Clough with the free kick. Barnes. Fowler. It's a nice touch from Ruddock. Sweeping it to Bjornaby. It needs a good cross from here. They've got it! Neil Ruddock. And this masterpiece of a match has produced another fantastic goal.
This is absolutely sensational, and what a huge part Ruddock plays in it, because he's the one that fed Bjornaby, and then he didn't hang around, and look at the way he attacks that. He goes in there saying, this is mine, and no one is stopping me getting that. That is what you call attacking the ball.
And that is what you call refusing to lie down here. Liverpool, who have had to live with so much criticism, must have feared another blast when so early in the evening they were 3 goals adrift. But here we are. Study the scoreline. Liverpool 3, Manchester United 3.
Don't assume that's the end of the scoring. The one thing I feel sure there will be chances in the last 10 minutes.
Manchester United are a approaching their worst run of their league season, 2 games without a win.
And Liverpool have achieved what no one else has so far. 3 league goals in the 1 game against Manchester United. Maybe they are human after all.
Andy Cole has given Newcastle United the lead at Carrow Road. What a season this is in the FA Carling Premiership. You can talk about Manchester United turning the season into a procession, you can think again. And elsewhere there's so much quality in the challenge, with Blackburn improving all the time, Newcastle coming up with such glory. And look at Liverpool here, written off by so many. In the season, in the match, they're still fighting. Could they get in front for the first time at the crucial time? Or will we see the true quality of the champions here? Pallister has a little ball on to Cantona. Liverpool have cut off the route. Bruce, McClare. This is quite magnificent. And this is Cantona!
I told you there would be chances, and that's one. Great ball from McClare, looks up, picks him out perfectly. Very powerful header. Whether Bruce had it covered, we'll give him the advantage and say he did. But it was very, very close to putting United back in the lead.
But 6 goals, that would be a thrill alone. But what goals, Andy?
Watch this one at Bolo. The ball comes in, looking away, that's mine, and he gives Schmeichel no chance. 6 goals, Martin. I tell you what, you couldn't blame a goalkeeper for any of them, could you? None of them have had a sniff.
And but for the goalkeepers, we'd be approaching that 6-6 scoreline that was talked about earlier in the evening. Grobbelaar has been great in the second half. Schmeichel has had his saves to make as well. It's a colossus of a match, and it's not over yet.
Well, it's survival of the fittest now, Martin. There are tired legs out there after the holiday programme.
Fowler asking Bruce to have to defend that as Barnes came in unfairly. The referee saying just get the ball down at the right place, and well, it's not been one really to enjoy. On the bench, Graham Souness and Alec Ferguson. There's been really a bit of history of bad blood even at that level. Alec Ferguson's had some harsh words to say about the visiting teams and their treatment when they come to Anfield. But I think when the dust settles here, and it'll take a long time to settle, it's been a victory for football. There's no question about that. Even if perhaps we're not going to get an outright victory for either of the two teams, and you wouldn't be betting on the draw even now, would you? 89 shots.
6 minutes left, Mark. Leave us off.
Clough. Pallister. Here's Cantona. Now Keane. They've been in a sequence, Manchester United, of draw, win, draw, win, draw, win. 5 draws in their previous 9 games. They were due to win tonight to keep the sequence going. They seem certain to win tonight. 3-0 up.
After 20 minutes, who would have bet against them?
Keane. Cantona. Fowler was caught. Free kick to Liverpool. They want to take it quickly to keep the tempo going. Clough.
Well, we can excuse 1 or 2 straight passes this late, can't we? The players, I said at the beginning of the game, all the ingredients were here, Martin. It was up to the players. And I'll tell you what, they haven't disappointed, have they?
Cantona. Jones just resuming that duel from the previous games with Ryan Giggs.
I think a little example there of why Ryan Giggs was probably thrust up front, because Jones has always had the pace that felt at Liverpool to cope with Ryan Giggs.
Needs to go back to the training ground for his technique on the throws, though.
There we go. Now you take it behind your shoulders and release. Let's go. Well, almost. So even we talked about the last goal, looking at Ruddup's equaliser, we're talking about managers making substitutions. And who was it that was there to cross the ball for Ruddup? But the substitute had come on moments earlier. Stig Bjornaby.
Fowler. Ruddock. Oh, and Ruch is offside.
I just wonder if we'll just settle now with 3 minutes left for a point each.
Well, few, I think, would begrudge a final score of that nature. But a blow in the face for McClare.
I think Jimmy Redknapp is looking to just hook his foot round the ball and does catch Brian McClare.
But how much of a blow for Manchester United if we dare suggest that it might finish with them not getting the 3 points?
I refuse to contemplate it with 2.5 minutes left.
And you're quite entitled to give me that answer. You're certainly not copping out. Les Sealy, who's on the bench there, the substitute goalkeeper, always with plenty to say for himself. And so much to talk about here. Well, I think they must be mad to go before the end. It's the FA Cup coming up, of course, and on Sky Sports we've got a full and comprehensive roundup for you on Sunday at 12 o'clock. And then we're live at the New Den, Millwall against Arsenal. Plenty of passion about that one, I'm sure, as well. Bjornaby. Clough making that his. It wasn't really. Redknapp likewise. Here's Dix. What a game to come back into the side for. Bjornaby, who was an influence at Ipswich, played well as a substitute for a long stint at Portman Road. Corner to Liverpool.
That was a great ball again from Bjornaby. It was early, it was in a dangerous area, and it gave Gary Pallister problems. I'll tell you what, if they score now, they won't need to take the roof off the cup. The fans will lift it off for the noise, I'll tell you.
Fowler. Looking for Ruddock. And Nigel Clough was livid because he was holding and then waiting for a ball to be rolled to him on the edge of the area, and Fowler didn't spot him. When they look back on matches between Liverpool and Manchester United, this one will be called to mind for many, many years to come. And the Liverpool scarves and flags can be held proudly now. Or can they? McClare.
I was just thinking, Mark, you and I had the privilege to be at Goodison when Everton and Liverpool involved in that sensational 4-4. I would have to say that must rank up there along with that.
And that was a night when Liverpool were never behind, but couldn't walk off the pitch as winners. Manchester United have come up against the sort of tenacity that Everton showed that night. Well, compared to perhaps previous generations, they might be questioning the quality at the moment at Liverpool Football Club, but you cannot question the character that's been shown here. And it's been a fight back full of fabulous football. And 3 terrific goals for Graham Souness to savour. And the hunt is on for number 4 still. Jones in stoppage time. How often have we seen things snatched right at the last in games this season? Jones, someone's got to gamble here. It's Dix making the run, and Bruce was not going to fail Manchester United. And here's Giggs, he's away, hurdling Ruddock. They've got 2 men over. McClare is one of them, Cantona is the other. The ball came behind him, and in that moment the chance was lost. Cantona is very, very angry, but the game finishing on the same sort of high note that we've had throughout.
What a chance that was.
Barnes, they're trading blows again. Here comes Björneby. Can Liverpool carry a knockout punch? Fildon looks at the watch again. Clough. Right. Ruddock. Stick it forward would be the message, you think. There it goes. Towards Fowler, but on an evening that defenders would probably prefer to forget, Dennis Irwin has done as well as anybody. Well, they'll talk about this night for a long, long time. Graham Souness, who might well have been writing off his side after 23 minutes. They were 3 down. In the end, Neil Ruddock with a really lion-hearted header pulled it back to 3-3 after Nigel Clough had scored twice before half-time to completely change the scenario. The script was just as Manchester United would have wanted. Steve Bruce put them in front. Ryan Giggs added a second with a delightful chip. Dennis Irwin with a textbook free kick, simply unstoppable. The champions were playing champagne football. The championship seemed to be within touching distance, and then Liverpool roused themselves, raised their game, and gave us all a night to treasure. 6 draws in the last 10 matches for Manchester United. Still only Chelsea have beaten them in the Premiership. But we can forget, I think, the league table and the context at the moment and just sit back and bathe in the memories of a marvellous, marvellous match. Liverpool 3, Manchester United 3. And the cop wondering really how it all happened. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful evening for football, and both sets of supporters with something to savour. Nick Collins down in the tunnel getting some reactions ready for you. I'm sure we'll be getting the views of George Best and Phil Thompson, and a wonderful evening that I think all of us will take away and put alongside the great games we've seen. Richard, it's all yours.
Thank you, Martin. Very eloquently said it all, hasn't he? And I'm glad, because I'm breathless. What a night at Anfield. Liverpool 3, Manchester United 3. We'll get the reactions of Phil Thompson, George Best, and more after the break. But a big thank you to Andy and Martin Tyler. Fabulous stuff. Don't stray away. Well, not surprisingly, they don't want to go home. The encore isn't going to happen. What a 90 minutes. Liverpool 3, Manchester United 3. One of the great games, and it really was a privilege to be here. 14 shots from Liverpool in total, 7 on target, 15 from United, 7 on target. United forced 9 corners, Liverpool just 2, but they again had the better of the possession, 52% to Manchester United's 48%. Guests are Phil Thompson and George Best. Genuinely, I promise you, genuinely breathless. What about that then?
Tremendous, tremendous game. I think they're all waiting there. They think they're going to come out and warm down. They might see a few more goals. Absolutely tremendous stuff. It was great. There was passion there. There was some great movements, great goalkeeping, shots, everything. Who could want more?
George?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm knackered. I'm going to the pub for a drink. That was amazing. I think it's always a sign of a great game when it goes so quick. It seems to have been only 10 minutes, you know. It went so quickly. But as Phil says, it just had everything.
We turned around to look at the clock there in the second half and saw only 10 minutes left.
Yeah, it was amazing.
What's happened? Where's it all gone?
Absolutely fabulous.
The Phil's right. I've just heard, you can hear the guys outside trying to get rid of them. They don't want to leave. Yeah. Great.
Right, well, let's have a look back on the highlights. Goals from the first half, first of all, and there were 5 of them, remember. This is the first, scored by Steve Bruce, who was involved there, Phil, and got up to score.
Yeah, he gets up and he straight away goes to the far post. Which then we should be looking to pick him up. Everybody's pointing. Well, that's a fabulous ball. It's got pace and everything. There's Brucey.
You'd said at the start, watch out, because you can be awake and ready for anything from them.
Yeah. Well, they can score all departments.
And then he'll pop up.
Yeah. We're just not close enough to him as the ball's coming in. Just not close enough to him. But again, it was good delivery here.
So Steve Bruce got the first, Ryan Giggs got the second. Let's leave this one to George Best. How about this for a goal, George?
Another touch of class from Giggs. I mean, he does it consistently, doesn't he? A little bit of a mix-up with the Liverpool defence here. But he's clear and he knows exactly what he's going to do. I think we all knew he was going to chip Bruce and perfection, great finish.
It had to be perfection as well, didn't it? Because Bruce Grobbelaar wasn't so far away from it.
No, and he was being closed down. His timing and deciding to go for the chip. And Brucey nearly got it. He just got his fingertips to it.
So that was 2-0. And United at this stage were rampant. Dennis Irwin made it 3-0 with a glorious free kick. Phil, you said at the time you didn't think anybody would have got near it.
No, like everybody was saying, they've got no bodies in the box, and Liverpool are all standing there, all in a straight line, all in the wall. It doesn't matter what they'd have done. If somebody had been on the line, they'd have struggled to head that off. It was perfect. That's it. It's going away all the time. It's going away all the time from Bruce.
Hadn't played 20 minutes and United were 3 up. Liverpool needed a reply almost immediately, and they got it. And that really turned the game, didn't it?
That was the essential thing. We needed a goal to get back in it, and it came just at the right time because people, you know, the crowd, the players, they start getting over anxious and everything. Everybody will start mulling picking them. That came at a great time, and that got us back in the game. Never mind the third one. This was so important. I think he was a bit unsighted there, Peter Schmeichel.
Just hesitate for a moment when he talks about weed, don't you?
I know, yeah. What's this wee rubbish?
Sorry.
I don't talk about weed, do I?
So that was 3-1, and Nigel Clough made it 3-2 before half-time. Little bit of hesitancy.
Yeah, just, again, probably Manchester United just standing there watching. He's took it great. He's really hit it well.
Were you surprised that United opened up quite so easily, George, like this?
Yeah, it was an amazing game, wasn't it? Because Liverpool started off better and could have gone 1-up early on. But, you know, they come back and also a team that's been 3-0 down and going in at 3-2, you've got to fancy them to come out and maybe even win it because you're so high from coming back from the dead.
We were saying at half-time, neither goalkeeper had a save to make, but they did in the second half. Here's an example of that. Bruce Grobbelaar. It's Peter Schmeichel, isn't it? We've changed ends. Where are we? We're breaking from here. Yeah, this is United on the break. And Grobbelaar saving from Ryan Giggs.
He had a choice here, and Cantona wasn't very happy with him. He could have knocked it wide. And I think it would have been an almost certain goal, but a great save from Bruce.
I think if it was Cantona who was on the ball, I think he'd have played it to Giggsy. He'd have played him in. I think Giggsy should have done it. He was free. But Bruce starts moving across that side, actually. and he shows, and maybe that's why he's had to go for that near post.
I'd forgotten they broke like that, I must say. Really was quick, wasn't it?
The whole 90 minutes was like that, wasn't it? It was non-stop.
And then Peter Schmeichel matched to that stop, saving from Jamie Redknapp. Both goalkeepers had to be on their toes, George, second half, didn't they?
Well, as you say, Richard, they really didn't have to pull off saves in the first half, which makes the saves even better. This is a terrific save. I thought he should have held it, actually.
You just wanted that little bit more every time, didn't you? And here comes the equaliser, scored by Neil Ruddock. What about this for a header, Phil?
I fancied it all the time. Liverpool were coming on
He's made
strong.
it there, look, with a glorious little ball.
He were coming on strong, and he's done what Steve Bruce did. He's got back in the middle, and I think Liverpool knew. They knew it was coming. He's gone, that's going to be my ball. That's a tremendous header, because I think he's hurt his head in the challenge. But this fella, Bjorn B, delivers a good ball in. And again, as with the Cantona on the first one, it's good, it's got pace and everything. He's coming. Look at the eyes on him. Look at the eyes. Poof.
That's a great goal.
But I think at that stage, I think Alex Ferguson said it against Blackburn here, there was only one team wanted to win it at that stage. Alex.
You can be difficult, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Here it is again. That made it, didn't it?
That's not a bad ball at all, was it?
Well, from as soon as the cross is coming over, it looks like there's only one person. He's made his mind up. I'm the only one going to get this. Boom. That's it.
3-3. And that's how it finished. Neil Ruddock, the scorer of that goal, is with Nick Collins.
Neil, it's difficult to know where to start, but what was that game like to play in?
I mean, it was disastrous for us first half out. I mean, we was all over the place, but I mean, Gaffer got messages on and we got a shape again, and you know, it's to go 3 down against the champions Man United, a great team, to get 3 back. I mean, it shows you what the potential and the team spirit we've got.
How important was Nigel Clough's first goal coming so soon after United had gone 3 up?
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, we was gutted, you know, to lose 2, but the third one, that really kills you off, and to get one straight back, it gives you a glimmer of hope, and you know, and you know, coming at half time, and you know, who knows, anything could have happened. I mean, we come at half time, we thought we was going to win the game, going to win the game, but then the day we got the draw, and as I say, we're over the moon, especially for the fans out there.
The second half, a different kind of game to the first, but compulsive all the time.
Yeah, I mean, what we try to do is just keep the ball, move it down, and make them work. I think the pressure was on them before the game. There was no pressure on us at all. And I mean, the atmosphere out there, we couldn't lose really, and then at the end of the day, we didn't.
Your first taste of a Liverpool-Manchester United game, what was it like?
I mean, it's unbelievable. The atmosphere there is the greatest game I've played in, and they say when you get to Europe, it's better, and that's what we're aiming to do, to get into Europe for more nights like this.
And you're making a habit with scoring 2 in 2 games now.
I know, it's Stiggy keeps putting it on my head. I think he's got to stop. Gaffer's got to start playing him every week now.
Listen, Nigel Clough was named Carling Man of the Match. Perhaps you'd present that bottle of champagne to him.
Second best player then, was he?
Yeah, something like that. Well done, Neil.
Second best player. 3-3 at Anfield tonight. There was another Premiership match this evening at Carrow Road. Norwich City 1, Newcastle United 2. Mark Bowen opened the scoring for Norwich. Beardsley equalised. Andy Cole got the winner, 80 minutes. So the FA Carling Premiership looks like this tonight. Swindon, Southampton and Oldham in the bottom 3. Then come Manchester City, Sheffield United and Chelsea. Everton, Wimbledon, Ipswich, Tottenham and Coventry City making up the bottom half. And the top half looks like this. West Ham exactly halfway, then the Villa, Queen's Park Rangers, Liverpool 8th, 37 points from 24 matches. Norwich stay 7th, Sheffield Wednesday 6th, Leeds 5th, Newcastle go 4th, Arsenal, Blackburn and Manchester United above them. Dear, what a night, eh? What does that all do tonight for the Premiership, Phil? United drawing again like that?
Oh, it's not for me. It's gives you a great belief in the game, doesn't it? It's marvellous. So you see all this Italian stuff and all that, and all prima donnas and everything. That was tremendous stuff. But I think it gives everybody hope. We were saying just before the game, I think Manchester United can still be caught.
Do you genuinely think that?
Yeah, I think so. You just look at how many draws they've had. I know they're still clinging to those draws. They're not being beaten and everything. But if other teams can sort of put runs together, I believe there's still a chance. They've got to believe it.
George?
You've still got to fancy them. They've got the points in the bag, which is important. I know the game's in hand. I've heard all that before. You'd rather have the points in the bag if you had a choice. But I said earlier in the programme that so many of the teams behind them are playing some great stuff. Newcastle have had another terrific win. Andy Cole's knocked another one in. Arsenal are up there fighting, Blackburn are playing well, and it needs them to slip badly. But I mean, I don't care after that game. I don't care what happens for the rest of the season. But they're still obviously the team to be caught because they got the points. They've got that nice lead.
Well, as Phil said, it really was another great advert for our game, wasn't it? 3-3 at Anfield. Thank you very much, Phil Thompson and George Best. You've earned your drinks tonight.
We need them after that.
Right, coming next on Sky Sports, all today's football news with Paul Dempsey. Tonight's results and all the other stories are breaking up and down the country. At 10:30, NFS Classic Super Bowls, and at 11:30, World Team Pool. That's next tonight on Sky Sports. Friday at 7, live rugby league, Lee against Widnes. Saturday at 7, live racing, Under the Lights from Wolverhampton. Sunday at 12, an FA Cup special, all the third round action. Monday, January the 10th, we're going to the New Den to see Millwall play Arsenal. The holders, of course, of the FA Cup, they start their defence against Millwall, which is, of course, a club that George Graham knows very well. Well, an extraordinary night last night, but we got a live game on from Highfield Road, didn't we? And thoroughly enjoyed it. What a night tonight at Anfield. Liverpool 3, Manchester United 3. I'm going home shattered. See you next time. Goodbye for now.
Monday Night Football was proudly presented by Sky Sports.